Greetings, everyone. It is GleeCon, and I'm here again. Happy to be here again, bringing you another episode of Lore of Warcraft. On our last episode, we took our Tauren Restoration Shaman, and we finished off the Call of Water quest, earning some of those healing totems, this healing stream totem, the poison totem, and so on. And we also started taking him into Stone Talon, fighting off some of the Grim Totem tribe that have just been a thorn in his clan's side. We've also been reading the Dungeons & Dragons sourcebook material for World of Warcraft, the role-playing game, and we're on the last book, Dark Factions, and we're getting near the end of that book in a chapter called Factions. So it's all about those dark factions. We just finished off the Red Dragonflight, which was the last of the Dragonflights, kind of little snippets on each, and now we're going to get back into the rest of the factions today. So stay a while and listen as we dive into the Earthen Ring. That could maybe be some sort of metaphor or analogy for something. Diving into the Earthen Ring. All right, so it says the membership is 230. That's okay, fine, not a lot. They are chaotic neutral. What that means for those of you that aren't heavy D&D fans, I've always thought of the chaotic neutral as being insane. It means you embrace the chaos and you neither support good nor evil. So you're not really pursuing anything other than just frivolity. And it manifests as being a little bit cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. So let's see why they classify the Earthen Ring as that. They are active throughout Durotar, Mulgore, and Orgrimmar. So these are Horde characters. The Earthen Ring is the shaman organization of Azeroth. Its main goal is to maintain the balance between the world and the elementals that dwell upon it. Talking to and dealing with the spirits of the elements, members of the Earthen Ring try to keep the spirits pacified as well as prevent them from raising havoc on Azeroth. That doesn't sound chaotic. Relatively little of the Earthen Ring's time is spent on hunting down rogue elementals and cultists. However, elemental activity is on the rise on Azeroth, so the Earthen Ring is getting busier. Some believe that the role of the organization is the preservation of the world has become essential. Contrary to what some believe, the Earthen Ring was not created in order to fight the Twilight's Hammer. That particular conflict arose later. The group was actually formed to keep in check the elemental spirits. These spirits are by their nature chaotic and destructive, but also capable of reasoning and clever actions. So maybe they're chaotic in the same sense that elementals are, but it would seem again that these guys are striving toward neutrality, if not law. The Tauren have had shaman for quite a while now, but the Earthen Ring group itself is a more recent origin. People outside the group only noticed its existence about 150 years ago. The founding shaman believed that someone had to prevent the elemental forces from wreaking havoc, otherwise the world would be in danger. Thus, after several meetings and pacts, they founded what is now known as the Earthen Ring. With the passing years, the group, which was at first made exclusively of Tauren, began to include a growing number of orcs. Each race now makes up about half the group. While members of the Earthen Ring have not been overly active in the past, the events of the Third War weakened the dimensional barriers all around Azeroth, and elemental activity is now on the rise. Indeed, the Earthen Ring has never been more necessary. Agents of the group work hard to pacify the elementals, thus ensuring they do not cause trouble in the world. The Earthen Ring is composed primarily of members of the Horde, especially Orc and Tauren shaman. However, since the Earthen Ring's main concern is to keep the destructive and unpredictable elemental forces in check, the organization is not interested in the Horde's affairs, nor does it want anything to do with its politics. Maybe that's where they're drawing this chaotic element from. In fact, even though most of its members belong to the Horde, the Earthen Ring is not officially affiliated with it. Its mission is greater than that of the Horde. Because the Earthen Ring operates on a worldwide scale, and because it is not associated with the Horde, the Wise Group does not consider members of the Alliance to be its enemies. And it's only predominantly Horde because in Classic there were no shamans in the other faction. I assume that would change. I also don't know why trolls would not be part of it since they can be shaman. Instead, the Earthen Ring believes that anyone who works to anger the elementals and embolden them is not only unwise and a great threat to Azeroth, but also the Earthen Ring's most dire enemy. Thus, the Earthen Ring views the Twilight's Hammer as its nemesis, and the Twilight's Hammer shares this feeling. On the other hand, the group considers anyone who seeks to maintain the fragile balance of nature by keeping the elemental forces in check an ally, which means to me, you would think that they'd be chill with the druids. The Earthen Ring's hierarchy is unknown to anyone but those who are part of the group because its members keep out of the public eye. Nobody outside the organization knows much about its goals and activities and much less about the group's hierarchy. Indeed, the only fact that has come to light is that a Tauren named Moln Earth Fury is the group's leader. Oh, poor. That's our guy, actually. That's who we play. His current whereabouts and long-term goals are, however, a mystery. Yeah, we do. He just did Call of Water. We know all about him. He used to be called Earth Fury, and I had to switch his name to Moln when I switched servers because that name was taken, dag nabbit. The Earthen Ring has no official base of operations. The faction maintains no guild hall, has no appointed meeting place, and does not claim ownership of any particular building or piece of land. Instead, the Earthen Ring arranges meetings in whatever location proves most convenient to their goals. Although the Earthen Ring is a shaman organization and is almost exclusively composed of orcs and tauren, the group accepts members from all walks of life. The shaman are the most numerous. Warriors also make up a noticeable part of the Earthen Ring's membership. These warriors act as bodyguards for the shaman and fight alongside them when facing threats such as cultists who provoke violence. Members of other classes are also permitted to join the Earthen Ring, but their admittance to the organization is rare. I guess it's just probably because anybody can be a warrior and just fight to protect. For the most part, members of the Earthen Ring do not engage in recruitment, though they tend not to reject volunteers who are shaman. As for individuals of other vocations, those who are determined to protect the Earth are allowed a chance to prove their worth. These men and women perform missions on the Earthen Ring's behalf. After 1, 2, or 3 such missions, they earn admittance into the organization, aka they probably go from being neutral to friendly with you. The Earthen Ring is not a widely known or highly respected organization. Its members fight a secret, little known, and often misunderstood conflict. Thus, the majority of Azeroth's population doesn't notice their activities. Their tasks do not require large hosts of armed warriors, nor anything else that would be obviously noticeable. In fact, since the Earthen Ring's success prevents catastrophes from occurring, most people notice the Earthen Ring only if its members failed to stop a threat. And the leaders are, of course, Moln Earth Fury, dear to our heart, the male Tauren. Moln Earth Fury, a powerful Tauren shaman dedicated to keep the elemental forces in check and thus ensure the safety of all the lands of Azeroth and the people who live upon them. Wow, this needs some heavy editing. I've been trying throughout, but it's even been tripping me up a lot. He leads the Earthen Ring. Like many members of the group, Moln frequently roams the land in search of elementals to pacify and cultists to defeat. His current location is unknown, but as dedicated to the group's cause as he is, Moln is undoubtedly carrying out duties important to the Earthen Ring. There's also Jenu Sankrea, a male jungle troll. So here right off the bat, one of the leaders is a troll, but we don't mention them as part of the membership. Most people in Zoramgar Outpost have no idea that one of their own, Jenu Sankrea, Jenu, is a member of the Earthen Ring. Jenu holds no high rank in the Earthen Ring, but he is a particularly active member. As a consequence, he's gained a reputation for involving himself in many different issues, including investigating elemental activity and recruiting heroes to venture into various locations associated with the Twilight's Hammer. I don't remember where Zoramgar Outpost is. Maybe Ashenvale? Okay, what if you wanted to be a PC and play as an Earthen Ring hero? The Earthen Ring seeks to maintain the balance of the elements by communicating with elemental spirits and keeping them pacified. In this manner, the Earthen Ring prevents elementals from engaging in the chaotic destruction that would otherwise ensue. As a result, the group has sometimes come into conflict with Twilight's Hammer cultists. The Earthen Ring keeps a low public profile and has no standing army, and its members tend to work in small groups or alone, thus they sometimes recruit heroes for assistance. And what would those adventures look like? Oh, potential PCs. Let's look at 2 adventure hooks. Reports of strange activities on Durotar's eastern coast prompts the Earthen Ring to investigate. A member of the group contacts the heroes and asks them to help him search the coast, only to discover the entrance of a cavern complex in which Twilight's Hammer cultists have established a base. The heroes must cleanse the Twilight's Hammer's secret base before they can put their foul plan into action. Kind of feels like that Searing Blade quest that's already in existence. And a remote village of approximately 100 people has been brutally attacked by a handful of elementals. A traveler who recently journeyed to this isolated village reported the assault to a contact of the Earthen Ring. Fearing another such attack, the organization sends the heroes to defend the remaining villages and hunt the creatures. The mayor of the place, however, is xenophobic and is fearful of anyone from the Horde due to past encounters with orcs and trolls. The heroes might have to earn the villagers' trust before they can help them. And I could see you swapping out Horde for Alliance or whatever you wanted. It doesn't have to be a remote village, whatever. That basic, the skeleton of a framework could be applied to whatever creative thing that you wanted. All right, everybody. Guess what? Another episode in the Pipe 5x5. Thank you so much for watching and listening to this one. And I look forward to seeing you all when you tune in next time on Lore of Warcraft.